I've received another box of products to show here on my channel. As a reminder, in a case such as this, when items are provided at no cost to me in exchange for coverage, I don't allow manufacturers to have control over the content of my videos. I'll provide coverage as honestly as I can. What I have to show you today are these LED floodlights from Novostella. There are hundreds of different kinds of RGB LED products on the market, and I don't have much experience using them. So with that in mind, I wouldn't consider this video a product review, but instead think of it as a product showcase. I intend to show you how to use these floodlights and maybe a few different examples of what you could do with them. Meanwhile, I'll give you some of my first impressions. This is a 2-pack of 25-watt floodlights. Right out of the box, I can say they feel very, very sturdy. They are intended for indoor or outdoor use, so they are water resistant as long as they aren't submerged. No printed manual is included, but here's a QR code to the instructions PDF. They also sent a separate item, this small smart hub. I'll explain this more later in the video. The box lists a few details, including optimal operating temperatures, the field of illumination, and the fact that they are dimmable. I want to get started right away, but I have to download the app first. These lights have no physical controls at all, not even an on and off switch. Everything is driven wirelessly by the Smart Life app. You can search for Smart Life in Google Play or the App Store. Once downloaded, I came to my first bit of friction. You have to create an account and verify an email address just to use the app. It was quick and everything, but I don't think this should be necessary just to control my lighting. There is a small Try Now button on the home screen that can bypass logging in, but it says this will limit some features. What features are limited I couldn't tell you because I went ahead and created an account. Another annoyance was needing to allow permission for the app to use my location information. I'm not overly concerned with privacy personally, but I'm unclear on why this would be necessary just for lighting. With those two hassles out of the way, everything else was a very easy experience. My first time pairing everything and learning how it all works took less than 10 minutes, so here's everything I learned. I referred to the instructions, but mostly found the setup to be quick and intuitive. When plugging in the light for the first time, and it sure is bright, it should start ready to pair. Your phone's Bluetooth needs to be enabled, and the app allows pairing either by selecting the product off of the extensive list or by auto-detecting, which I found to be easier. If you have any connection issues, back out of auto-scan and force the light into pairing mode by power cycling it several times in 2-second increments, then try to auto-scan again. Once the pairing is complete, you'll immediately have full control of the light. There are several adjustable modes, so we'll go on a quick tour of the app. The white mode has a full range of color temperatures, from warm amber through neutral to cool. Each mode also has a dimmer slider. I will note that some dimming LEDs can cause flickering on video. I'm thankful that I don't see that here. The color mode gives you a color wheel. Select any color and the light immediately changes to it. In addition to the dimmer slider, here there's also a lightness slider, which mixes the chosen color with white. Scenes offers different kinds of programmed presets for specific tasks, like reading, working, or night mode. I like the color cycling modes. Each preset is customizable with the edit function. Music mode would allow the light to react to music, but I won't dive into this now. There are more options such as a timer, a scheduler, and you can set the behavior of the light each time it gets powered on. You can edit the name for this specific light. This is handy for keeping track of several connected lights at once. Speaking of, let me go ahead and add the second light to the app. I can edit the name right here. Now that both lights are paired, I can control each of them independently. I can turn them on or off right from the menu, or dig deeper and set each exactly how I want it. But another option is to put them together in a group. From inside a Lights Edit menu, I can create a new group and add both lights to it. This gives me a new group so I can control both lights simultaneously. I still have the ability to set them independently, but I can also control them in unison, depending on what my needs might be. And on the basic level, this is all that you really need. As long as you're satisfied controlling your lights with your phone, it all works. But if you want further integration into your smart home, you'll also need this hub. The app will help you connect this smart gateway to your home Wi-Fi to allow you to control your lights with Alexa or Google Assistant, for instance. Novostella wanted me to mention that this hub is for their Bluetooth lights, codenamed B-Link. The hub connects to your home Wi-Fi to receive commands, but controls the lights via Bluetooth mesh. The alternative would be a fully Wi-Fi solution with Wi-Fi lights, but an advantage of the B-Link hub is that you'll create only one new router connection. Therefore, you'll have less worries about Wi-Fi signal strength, and you'll potentially see a more stable connection overall. I had no issue setting up the hub, and it worked to control the lights just as well as the previous direct phone connection. I don't currently use smart home assistants, so I was not able to fully test smart home integration, but I have no reason to believe it wouldn't work seamlessly. I'm reverting to using the app's direct connection for the rest of the video. These lights have a sturdy metal bracket with holes that can be used for mounting with bolts or screws. It swivels at the bracket connection so you can get the angle you want. I always hate when a power cord can get in the way of a mounting bracket, but the same would be true almost anywhere on the light's body. The bracket can be used as a makeshift easel to lean the light, but not very well because of where the cord is. Just be cautious of the cord as you mount and adjust it. So how can you use these lights? Well, you can use them in any way you'd use a standard floodlight. And surprisingly enough, one of my first uses was to help shoo off an unwanted visitor from my backyard. I didn't have a bright flashlight ready when I needed it, but this one floodlight did a great job lighting up the back corner of my house. It was pitch black out here otherwise. This little stinker eventually got the message and I got him to move on. One of the main reasons I was interested in trying these lights out is to make different lighting scenarios easier for my YouTube videos. I have a couple of remote-controlled LED light bulbs that I've used for background lighting in the past. They've served me well, but they aren't the easiest to use. I have to find spare lamps or adjustable receptacles just to use them. The light output from these is omnidirectional and scattered and can easily be washed out in anything other than a dark environment. In contrast, the smart floodlights are compact, all-in-one, and have highly concentrated directional light, but with the built-in diffusion panel, I'm not getting any hot spots. With very little setup time, I was able to get a variety of different kinds of looks in this test footage. I tried some stark direct lighting, and some background lighting trials too. Remember, I'm only an amateur hobbyist video maker. I know very little about proper light or color theory, but these floodlights have simplified getting footage with a look that I like. I will gladly be adding these to my filming bag of tricks. My wife, however, is a professional photographer. She relishes the chance to try new equipment and techniques, so she was eager to see how she could incorporate these lights in some upcoming shoots. To make the lights available to her app, I first needed to delete them from mine. But except for that, she also found the setup and using them to be quick and easy. Before a scheduled shoot, she set up a quick test with her model, and here's her experience.
When I saw you testing these lights, I became curious to see if I could produce professional quality images from these non-traditional light sources. So using nothing but these two lights, I was able to create the following example shots. In this first shot, the lights are placed to the right and left in front of the model. These LEDs were exceptionally bright to the eye, yet I had to shoot at a wider aperture and higher ISO to properly expose the subject. This next shot, one light is behind the model as a hair light and the other in front as a fill light. Now the thing I was most interested in using is the floodlights color functions. I wanted to see if they were a viable alternative to colored gels. Being able to easily include different colors into an image to change the background or to carry the mood is essential on many of my shoots, and doing it on the fly is a plus. Using the app instead of changing out gels was a major time saver. For this shot, I had the two Novostellas lighting the background while adding in my studio strobe as the fill light. There was some problem solving, such as how much my one studio strobe overpowered the background lighting. But without becoming too technical, having worked with artificial lighting for years in various situations, I was able to quickly adjust my camera settings accordingly. My only other issue was that even though their cords are nearly 5 feet long, that length wasn't sufficient on my light stands, hampering mobility just a bit, but it's nothing an extension cord didn't fix. Please take note, photography is not exactly the intended use for these lights, so my assessment is only from my viewpoint as a photographer. I was pleasantly surprised at how well the lights worked in these quick test setups, and I plan to integrate them into more of my shooting scenarios. Because proper lighting is paramount to your images, I wouldn't recommend these as your main or only light sources. But if you're wanting a relatively inexpensive way to add supplemental lighting to your studio, these might be a really useful way to do so.
Thanks, dear. Novostella suggested that I show the effects on my game room, and certainly for ambient lighting, it can pull the aesthetic from drab to fab. I also took this opportunity to test music mode. The app needs access to your phone's microphone to be able to react to the sounds. In short, it essentially changes color to the beat of the music. It works well enough, even though it can get chaotic. I'm sure this could come in handy for certain applications, but it certainly can't compete with music visualizers or a sequence light show. Other recommended uses are for holiday displays, such as for Halloween or Christmas. And remember, these are suitable indoors and out. I wasn't sure if I should even look at a non-gaming product like this, but I found them to be much more useful and versatile than I first thought. My wife and I will be looking forward to using them in the future. Novostella has a full range of LED products, including 50-watt versions of these lights. If you like what you've seen and you think you could use them, I have direct links in the description to learn more. Thanks for making it through a very non-typical video for my channel. I hope I kept it interesting enough, even without a direct gaming connection. Tell me in the comments your ideas for how you would use these lights. Thanks again for your continued support, and take care.